Hey everyone, before we get into the show, I wanted to let you guys know that our Patreon page has been set up. It's at patreon.com/KJVpod. We've got a bunch of cool tiers and some interesting rewards for different levels of giving, and it would really mean a lot to us if you want to throw a couple bucks at us. Thanks so much. All right, enjoy the show. Welcome to the King James Virgin, where Alan and Adam tell Bible stories to me that I've never heard before. I'm Nick.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Adam. So, this week, we're doing Samson. Back to the Old Testament.
Let me just set some groundwork.
Okay.
Just
right out of the gate.
First, Nick, what do you know about Samson?
Delilah? Is that a thing? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So you didn't know that Jonah was swallowed by a big fish, but you know Delilah.
Well, same vibe, though. Delilah, buddy cop sort of thing?
Yeah, sure.
Or does Delilah
More
gulp
appropriate.
this dude up?
I mean,
Yes.
both are kind of appropriate.
Man-eater.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me just set it. Samson, like just put him in your head. Metal militia shirt, long hair. Tribal armband.
Okay.
Totally, yes.
Way into MMA.
Kind of a hesher.
All right.
Way into MMA.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, he's like got a Chuck Liddell like
chess piece.
Okay.
Yeah. Thinks of women as objects.
Classy.
But also not super like smart around women in general.
Yeah. So,
should I jump into this?
Yeah, let's
Since
do it.
We've kind of gotten...
I just wanted to like set the stage because I feel like that a lot of this is like the between the lines in
Sure.
the Bible.
And I'll set the stage for the listener a little bit in that Adam, for the first time on this program, has prepared notes
Yeah.
on legal paper.
I do.
2 pages.
2-page. And it's not... I didn't... this is still
So
straight from my
strap in.
memory. I just, as I was trying to think about the story, I kept going, oh, I forgot about that bit. Oh, and that bit. And so I tried to kind of just like put my thoughts down as bullet points. Because, yeah, this one's a doozy. I think, yeah, Alan was saying...
Does it start
reading
with
too.
him getting the tattoos, or is that already written?
No. There's actually a full chapter before he's born.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize it. So, like, in my brain, like, I was just going to go, like, Samson's born. 2, I believe, a mom who is barren. I think is that
That is correct.
accurate? Okay.
So it's a bit of like a proto-Jesus
Yeah.
where angel appears to barren woman and says, you will be with child.
Right. But this
I like that
child,
delivery of
yeah.
the angel.
Yeah.
You will be with child.
I think it's a little more aggro than that. It's like, you will be with child.
Because he goes on to go, he will be like the savior of the Israelites from the Philistines. We're in this chunk of the Bible where the Philistines are the big bad for Israelites. Like they're constantly going back and forth, and like the Philistines will pop up as the big bad guy a lot as we're doing Old Testament stuff. But they're currently being occupied by the Philistines, and so Samson's going to be the savior of these guys. But the way he's going to be the savior is he's going to be super strong, like Captain America, super strong. But there's 2 caveats. You can't cut his hair ever.
Okay.
And he can't ever have alcohol. So he's straight edge for Yahweh.
Okay.
Like those are the caveats.
Yeah. And even further,
I just got more into Samson.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. While his mom's pregnant, she can't have any alcohol either.
Which is fine.
Which they say,
Wait, that's
like,
probably
like,
good,
can
just
we-
a good?
which the angel says to her on more than one occasion.
Mommy has a drinking problem.
I don't know. Well, also, they talk about Samson's dad,
Or just there's
Manoah.
a lot of problem children out there.
I mean, that might explain the rest of the story. If everybody else's parent, like mother, is drinking, like, I mean, that would explain why. It's
So anyway, it goes and talks about Samson's dad, Manoah. They give him a name. It says his name probably a dozen times throughout the chapter. His mom is that woman. So I feel like that really just sets the female appreciative
that's par for the
tone.
course.
Yeah.
Capital T, capital W.
That woman.
That woman.
So
the woman.
I don't believe there's like Samson's childhood is not was not part of my recollection. Like I don't remember anything about his childhood. But where the story picks up for me is that he marries a local Philistine woman. He grows up.
So we're really zooming ahead.
Right.
Is that
no, basically the first chapter is about his mom becoming unbarren.
Yeah.
And then it says he was born, and then there's a
nothing
chapter break, and it says like Samson's an adult. It's like
Okay.
interesting,
which is kind of weird
because
because that seems to be a weird running part of the Bible as well. Like Jesus is the similar thing with like the interstitial at 12.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Anyway, so he is going to ask for. I think to go ask for ask the father for the hand in marriage of this Philistine woman. On the way there, single-handedly like kills a lion by hand, like rips it apart, beats it to death, but like with his hands, kills a lion, tells nobody, goes ask for the hand. On the way back, sees that a bunch of bees have like turned the carcass into a beehive, eats the honey.
Got it.
And
which is breaking his vow. It's unclean meat.
Oh,
that was the third thing.
Oh, that was in there too?
Yeah, unclean meat. So at this point, he's already broken his vow.
That's interesting.
And then at his wedding, he drinks. So there's 2 out of 3 gone.
Which is so weird because...
So I don't know why the hair is the one that matters.
But apparently.
So, and you're a little out of sync. It's chapter 14 when he's just like cut to adult.
Yeah.
It starts with him being like, telling his parents, I saw this Philistine woman. You figure out how we get married. And then it's on the
Samson wants girl.
Yeah.
Go get girl.
Yeah, I feel like that's just it. Just develops his character in that very specific way.
Yeah.
A little more.
That tracks.
Any indication that the lion fucks with him first, or
No,
does
it
he just
just,
see it in the
Probably
distance and like, all right,
I'm gonna go fuck that kitty up.
Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
more along the
Okay,
lines.
so Bible. Now to his surprise, a young lion came roaring against him,
I mean, it started some shit.
and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he tore the lion apart as one would have torn apart a young goat. Now I looked that up, and apparently that is a practice still in the Middle East. God, I hope not. Where they actually tear the back legs in half. Just
Wow.
While it's alive?
It didn't say. I didn't look further.
Yeah.
But that's what it specified. Because all the
Jesus.
not photos, all the etchings,
Yeah.
pottery of Samson.
I think I've seen some Ansel Adams of this.
Are grabbing the jaws.
Yeah.
I mean, just beautiful landscapes.
Yeah.
And there's a guy ripping a lion apart at the loins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Super cool.
at the wedding, for Samson, he decides that he's got, I mean, this falls into like the dickish MMA guy. He has 30 groomsmen, all of which are Philistines.
Correct.
And so he's like,
I am blown away how many details you are nailing.
this is what I'm
already.
saying. Like, I had just like these pieces just kept floating back, and I was like, this is nuts. And so the reason it's 30 is because of because of the bet. So he bets them like, I can give you guys a riddle. You guys have a week to figure it out. You figure it out. I will give you each a new set of clothing. Right. And if you don't, you all have to give me a set of clothing. So I get 30 sets of clothing out of this deal.
So this is like his bachelor party wish.
Except it's at the wedding. But
Okay.
yes.
As
so
one
he
does.
said to them, here's the riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet.
Wait a minute. Riddle would imply a question.
What is it?
Yeah. What is?
Okay.
I think that's the...
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, he's referring to the lion and the honey, and
Yeah.
and the thing is like, it's not really a riddle because you had to have been Samson to have been there to know that this whole thing had happened.
I mean, it's a well-phrased little ditty.
yeah, it just
Maybe he's testing his friends because like only his closest friends would have seen his Snapchat stories of that whole process.
Correct. And these are his wife's friends.
yeah, this is my
Exactly.
friends.
So, you know.
And you get the impression that they don't like him because they then threaten the new wife to figure out what the riddle answer is because we don't want to pay him up. And or
/ we really want those new clothes.
yeah,
And remember the callback where he hasn't even told his parents.
Right. Okay.
right.
About the lion.
Right. Nobody's like, and so she convinces him. She tells the groomsmen. The groomsmen come to him and go, "Yeah, it was the lion and the honey. We figured your stupid riddle out."
Well, there's a little bit where she asks him a couple times, and he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I haven't even told my parents. And then she's like, please. And basically, she was annoying enough that he caved.
Wow.
Yeah.
He then is pissed because he has been betrayed by his new wife, and then he goes and kills 30 other Philistines, takes their clothes.
Wow.
And that's what he uses to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
Does he also rip them apart from
I
the
would
legs because those
assume-
pants are not good anymore?
I'm assuming they're wearing like tunics, so they're
Sure.
open, no crotch. You can just
I do enjoy
Easy to rip.
when the 30 gentlemen present the answer of the riddle to him. His response is, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle."
Yeah.
So this guy's a gem.
He's a likable guy.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, great at parties.
He's apparently gone long enough during this killing of 30 people. Also, apparently nobody seems to really care that Samson willy-nilly just kills lots of people. But he's gone long enough that his wife is given to one of the groomsmen as a husband. And so he goes to the father and what the fuck? And the father, in typical Bible fashion, was like, well, you can't have her because she's spoken for, but here's her sister.
Hotter younger sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Quoth the Bible.
Quoth the Bible. Samson is pissed and is not good enough, goes out and finds, I couldn't remember, is it 500?
300.
300 foxes.
Okay.
Ties them in pairs, ties their tails together in pairs, lights their tails on fire, and sends them through the farms and burns the shit out of all the farms.
This is not very cool vegan straight edge of him.
No, it's definitely not vegan straight edge. Also, he is not straight edge.
Right.
He was just supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
So naturally, this community is not happy, and so they arrest him essentially, and he no,
they just burned her and her father with fire.
Oh,
oof.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was an escape in somehow in there where he kills a bunch.
Well, so yeah, you're blending a little bit, which is to be expected because you're really nailing it.
Oh no, he has to. Maybe I'm missing it.
So they're so upset
because we got the jawbone.
We're almost there.
Okay.
They're so upset that they talk to the local government. So the Philistines talk to the government of Judah.
Okay.
Being like, hey, you guys need to deal with this guy. He's just willy-nilly killing a bunch of us.
Oh, right, because he goes willingly with them.
Correct.
But then breaks the ropes. He's tied and then rips the rope apart and then kills, I don't know, 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey.
It is literally 1,000 with the jawbone of a donkey.
Really?
Wow. Adam.
Gosh.
So
as a kid, are you going to forget 1,000 men killed with the jawbone of a donkey?
Yes.
So
I would have.
So he goes willingly. With
I will forget this tomorrow.
You're not going to forget 1,000 men killed with the jawbone of a donkey.
It's also a new jawbone.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we talking does he rip the job I need an implement? Come here, donkey.
Found.
Okay. So he didn't, because given his temperament with animals, it seems like he could very well have just gone
sure. Yeah. But given his temperament with animals, he probably has a whole utility belt full of different sized jaws that he can just.
Yeah, we're also missing a point where when the local government comes and be like, hey, man, can you just be cool and come with us? He's like, yes, bind me with new ropes. That's a theme.
That's how it gets you.
Oh. So and then he recycles that.
Then he breaks the ropes and kills 1,000 men with a jawbone.
Got it.
Yeah. That's why they use zip ties now.
Yes. And I feel like a bunch of other stuff happens.
Well, right after that is a kind of a great part where he just killed 1,000 men with a jawbone, and he looks up at the sky and is like, "Damn it, God, I'm so thirsty. Would you have me kill those men and then die from thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised?" Gotta love the Bible. So God split the hollow place that is in... He basically split a rock in half and a bunch of water came out.
Oh, miracles.
One of those water rocks.
Well, God did.
Yeah.
And Samson drank out of the rock. Mm-hmm. Which apparently also...
Could it have been a coconut?
Hercules did.
Could have been.
A lot of people think this is just a retelling of Hercules.
Oh, that tracks.
Rip a lion in half god.
Yeah. A lot of super,
Very strong.
Yep. That tracks.
Yeah.
All right. So eventually, Samson didn't take the sister as a wife because he eventually falls in love with Delilah. Enter Delilah.
Dun, dun, dun.
First, just before that.
I was getting worried that maybe Delilah was the lion.
No.
It's a good name for a lion, though.
Mm-hmm.
First, Samson goes to Gaza and meets a harlot and is sleeping with her, and all the people in the city are like, we got him. Let's wait for him. And that's the part of the story where he like rips the city gates off and just sets him on top of a hill.
Okay. I remember. I thought there was one of those interstitial things where he just like is like there's these parts in like especially the animated movies that we'd watch when we were kids that like they would have this vignette like a Rocky like training sequence where it's set to music and he's like ripping shit off walls and like but it was like kind of triumphant.
I definitely remember in the cartoon him ripping the city gates off. But then he put him on a hilltop. But I kind of expected the Bible to like fill me in.
He's kind of a jackass person, like the show Jackass. Like he just like would rip shit off walls and then put it like as a joke up on a hill.
It does.
Yes.
Go get your gates.
It truly seems like that.
Yeah.
And now he meets Delilah.
And is like,
I think that I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you probably also remember all of these details because of cartoons.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Hanna-Barbera?
I think Hanna-Barbera did the ones that we watched too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Hanna-Barbera was like subcontracted to do all of these Bible stories. So
sounds like we need an expert.
So it's probably the same sound effects. Like him ripping the gate off is like Elroy Jetson hitting a baseball or something. You know, it's like the same sound effects.
And all of the characters are vaguely similar to
Elroy?
like.
I'm right? Elroy.
Yeah.
His boy Elroy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like all the characters are vaguely similar to like Scooby-Doo type characters.
Yeah.
It's just like you're like
same haircuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, they all have
More
70s,
muscles.
All have 70s.
Halfway
haircuts.
between Scooby-Doo and He-Man.
Getting back to the story.
Yeah.
Right.
At this point, any mention of his hair length? Has he cut his hair yet?
Oh no, it's super long.
No.
Okay, great.
Hair never been cut.
Great.
This is key.
Becomes
Like,
important right here.
Yeah, this is about where.
That's important for my vision. Not having cartoons.
Right.
I need
assume
an
it's
image.
like way past his ass. Like it's like.
Well,
down around his
he's got a
ankles.
lot of broken ropes, so he can braid that shit.
So
tie
by
it
the-
back.
Yeah.
So by this
The updos, really, really big updos.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, he's been judging Israel for 20 years. So I don't know if that means
just sitting there judging.
Like Judge Dredd style.
no, but I don't know if that means he's 20 or if he was like an adult and then it's been 20 years. So his hair is long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So meets Delilah, falls in love like instantly. Like he's like deep in love with her, and is seeing her. And the Philistines go like, "That's how we'll get to her." So they go to Delilah, offer her a big bribe, and say, "Figure out what it is that is the secret to his strength, and we'll pay you even more."
Do we know what the big bribe is?
1,100 pieces of silver
All
Great.
right. I mean, it only took 30 to get Jesus.
each
So
from each of them.
how many people?
It doesn't say.
Huh.
Good bribe. Good
Yeah.
bribe.
Strong.
Better than one new pair of clothes.
Yes, it is better than one new pair of clothes. So Delilah is not subtle. Like she just basically straight up asks him, like, "How are you so strong? What is the secret to your strength? How do I take it away?"
I assume it was during a sexual liaison.
I assume too, but given that it was a cartoon meant for kids when it was told, like
Well, that's
they're
true.
eating grapes
Yeah.
on like a chaise lounge.
How many
Very
grapes can you
sexually.
eat?
Exactly. It's like, what makes you so strong? Here's a grape. And like,
so
I feel
any
like that's
guess,
pretty good.
Any guess as to the first thing he says?
No, I cannot. I believe that new ropes are in there.
Yeah, New Ropes is number 2.
Okay. But she goes through like several iterations of it. Well,
So she
So
asked.
wait, what's the list?
So she asked him,
How do I-
break your strength?" And he says, "Oh, let me tell you a secret. 7 fresh bowstrings. Wrap my wrists up. Helpless."
Okay.
Yeah, and so she like lets him falls asleep, ties him up with the bowstrings, and then screams at him. And this is the thing that I remember very vividly, that this like there's a phrase that she continues to use, and I remember this being like really weird as a kid. Like this felt like the crying wolf because she says the exact fucking same thing every time.
I'm excited.
It's Samson, the Philistines are upon you.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Wow.
And like he like instantly rips
You're on fire this
rips
week.
his hands apart like and is like battle ready.
But no one's in the room.
And no one's in the room.
Okay.
And like, see, she somehow like just plays it off, and he's like, I was just kidding. And he's like, oh, cool, no worries, let's go back to bed. And then like,
It's more like pouty. It's like, you mocked me.
Oh, right,
You
'cause she
told me
feels-
the wrong thing.
that's right, because she feels like betrayed,
Right.
or is acting betrayed,
Right.
So she keeps doing this over and over and over, just asking him like, you lied to me last time. What is it really that actually takes your strength away? And I think there's the new ropes in there.
New ropes is next.
How many does she do?
So the third one is there's 4 total.
Okay.
The third one is the greatest.
Well, wait a minute. So he says that new ropes?
Yeah, so he's just lying. He's
Right,
just like
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up with like,
Okay.
if you bind me with new ropes.
7, of course, 7.
Yeah, lots of
fresh bowstrings.
Uh-huh.
And then it's also new ropes.
Which we've seen not work.
Correct.
Of all these details, I'm actually the most surprised that you don't remember the third one.
Oh no.
Old ropes.
No, man. Putting his hair in a loom.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's right, because
She weaves a blanket out of his hair.
But
Wow.
he's still in it. So like he comes up, shatters the loom, and is like, battle ready. And she's like, just kidding. Anyway, finally, as with the previous wife, breaks down and just finally just says, all right, the secret is if you cut my hair, I become all weak.
Yeah.
And so she like waits till he falls asleep, cuts his hair, and lo and behold, the Philistines can then just take him.
Yeah.
And so they bind him.
She actually brings a barber in.
Really?
Yeah. She gets
So
him,
he looks good.
yeah. I mean, she gets him asleep on her lap, whatever that means. And she brings a barber in to shave his head.
Yeah. Well, she only knows how to loom hair.
Right.
Yeah.
only an expert in looms. But yeah, so Philistines come just straight up like bind him, take him. He's just now a regular strength dude.
Yeah.
And they like
New ropes, bowstrings, doesn't matter.
Does not matter. No, they can just bind him with anything at this point, and he's like tortured. They like take out his gouge out his eyes, and they make him do.
I remember in the cartoon again, like where he's woken up battle ready before, like
Right.
This time he's like, "Ah!" And she like touches him with her hand gently, and he's like, oh,
Oh.
Forgot.
You know?
Yes.
it's great.
I was wondering how cartoony it was, and I thought that maybe he would get up and be like, ah! Uh-oh.
That would have been better. But
It's
no.
definitely more He-Man than
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo.
yeah. Okay.
The weird thing about it to me is that I also feel like the Philistines, she knew that this one was real somehow, and so she actually had the Philistines in the room
So
for that one.
I did some extracurricular research on that one, and it was because he took the Lord's name in vain, and that was actually like,
God damn, it's my hair.
but that's actually the breaking of the vow.
Oh.
No, he says it's like a covenant with God, and he says like he must have said God's name, which they never said God's name, and so that's how she knew like, oh,
This
this
one's real.
time
It's happened.
it's happened.
It's going down for
And
real.
really, that was probably the breaking of the vow. Again, none of it's real.
None of it's real.
But considering he broke 2 out of 3,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been drunk a shitload of times, and yeah. Anyway, so they gouge out his eyes, so he's blind.
Okay.
They
Thank you.
They make him do a bunch. Yeah, they make him do a bunch of manual labor.
grind wheat.
Oh, right, like a donkey.
While he's blind.
They hook
Yes.
him to like a big grindstone.
sure.
grindstone.
Yeah.
I just remember this from the
cartoon.
From the cartoons is like it's him and like a really sad looking cow just like and
Bald.
yes, bald. But they like do this for like tons and tons of time, and eventually
If they really wanted that grain made, should have kept his strength up.
oh yeah, you'd think. Well, they couldn't keep him like he's just
I
too
know.
yeah. Anyway,
Seems
so
like there would have been a way.
right. Yeah, just like use them for good. Use them for good. Eventually, they have some giant festival where there's a shitload of people that come together and they bring him as entertainment, basically like chain him between 2 pillars. So he's just like, chain 1 to one pillar, chain 2 to the other pillar. And he's just like between these 2 pillars and they're like throwing fruit at him and mocking him and he is the entertainment for this festival. There's a bunch of drunk assholes chucking things at him.
Yeah, like 3,000.
Okay. Yeah. I
It's
thought it was in the thousands.
Yeah, it's one of their temples for Dagon.
Big
dig
party.
Yeah, the big one.
The big one. So he, what the Philistines haven't figured out yet is that they've let it go long enough that his hair's gotten long again. Like it's grown
I
out.
actually think just started to grow back. It actually, in the Bible, it sounds like he was just bald for a while. And then when he was repentant enough,
then
he
it
got
starts growing
stubble.
back. Okay. So like in like again, the animated in the cartoons, like his hair was like slowly during this montage get longer and longer. Anyway, he's chained between these things. He prays and goes like, God, if you just give me one more chance, I will serve you. And God goes, yeah. And Samson goes like, all right. And then pulls the chains,
Sure.
shatters the pillars, the
Popeye
roof
scene.
comes down, and he kills himself and everybody in the building.
Yep.
Oh.
More people than he's killed thus far in his life at one time.
Hooray.
Yeah.
And then his family comes and gets his body somehow. And that's the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, these stunner endings.
I mean, this is the winner of a story, though.
Yeah. Is it?
I mean, for a Bible story, it's pretty good.
It's a good one. I feel like by the end of all of we're only, 4 or 5 episodes in, and I'm always like, and then...
Yeah, they don't wrap up
He
super
kills
well.
like 5,000 people at the end of this. What more do you want?
I guess it's just like so like
Do you
there's
want
no
a softer build?
there's no coda.
There's no denouement.
little
There's no
like,
denouement at
yeah.
all. It's just
Okay.
like it hits it hits the crescendo and then nothing.
Maybe we just need to build it. So he's been blinded. He's been chained to a stone.
I understand the build up to the climax.
They bring him
I
to
get
this
it.
temple.
I
No,
get it.
I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
They bring him to this temple.
Okay.
He can hear a large crowd of people.
Can't see him.
He says to the young boy beside him, I'm really tired. I need to brace myself.
There was
against
no
these
mention of
pillars."
the young boy before.
Well,
He's
Adam
new.
missed that.
Ugh,
There's
we'll see.
there's a young
There's
boy?
a young lad.
Wait, they mentioned the young boy?
Yeah, and Samson's like, I'm tired. I just need to like rest against these pillars. Can you show me where they are? And he feels the pillars in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, God, this is what I've been training for.
Yeah.
See, and then he kills 5,000 people.
Okay.
See, here's what I
The
think.
young boy helped.
Here's what I think. So all of these
I
stories,
thought so.
all of these stories were originally part of the Torah. So my thought, and this is the reason they're written like this, is the idea is like they're told during the religious services, and then the priest at this point would like take over, and like the denouement would be object lesson.
Right. Yes.
And so that's what I'm guessing. The reason that these have like shitty endings.
Yeah. And you can adapt this then to whatever. Yeah.
That's true. The ambiguity helps you just make it. So this is about not cutting your hair
Yeah,
or
drinking while pregnant.
Which flies in the
Yes.
face of the conservative cut your hair, you hippie.
yeah.
oh yeah. Well, and like
Sir, I'm pulling a Samson.
yeah, I was gonna say it's,
I'm a Nazarene, sir.
I was gonna say
I have
beards
a
are
covenant
like,
with God.
beard was like one of the ways that you showed that you were like a man, like you were not a child anymore. And so yeah, like the hippie thing is probably more manly by biblical standards.
Yeah. Well, Adam, you knocked that one out of the park.
Thank you.
It's going to take us a minute here to just like kind of take all of that in. Amazing. We'll be right back here on the King James Virgin. And we're back on the King James Virgin.
So, Nick, what did you learn today?
I have a real life application of this story
This is got to be the first time that like
that, yeah, this is actually meaningful in my life, which
Yeah.
is that I now know where the Earth album, The Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull,
oh
where that comes from.
yeah.
So, hooray, I'm enriched.
Do you feel like
And a
there's-
Christian now.
Wow, turns out that's what it took.
Yeah, it's just that Samson story. Okay, do you think that, like, as an evangelizing tool, this one is useful?
No, I was gonna say it's like this is. It's like,
I'd say this one's fun filler.
I mean, there. I would
If
say
you're given like a series, this is like day 4
I
to
will
get
s-
people back.
I will say
Okay, yeah.
There's been like in the last 20 years or so, it does feel a little bit like the church is moving more towards like this being a core tenet of like Samson is like a core tenet of the newer Christian church.
Yeah, it's like how Christians are into guns now.
Yes, exactly.
And we have all of those long-haired popes.
Yeah, this Samson would definitely have a coffee and guns fake Starbucks sticker
100%.
Oh, yeah.
on his jacked truck.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, Samson is the poster child
And
for
it'd be what's the rolling fog? Rolling
coal.
coal?
Rolling coal.
Where-
No,
What?
Where they like
Yeah.
do the big plume of
the
exhaust
giant
smoke?
exhaust
Oh,
smoke coming out.
okay.
It's rolling coal.
Is that?
It's
Yeah, that's Samson.
it's It's definitely Samson.
We're
definitely.
losing like so many listeners right now.
Oh, he definitely had.
Let's say things.
He had. So like you know how like they do truck nuts on
Yes.
trucks. Like he just had his donkey. He bought a donkey with like giant nuts because he thought it was funny. I believe that is like on brand for Samson.
There's going to be
around-
guys behind me on those 1-lane roads. And they're going to see these nuts.
Look at these nuts.
I would like to again read this. If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle.
That might be the.
It just
best,
doesn't get
like,
better than that.
Oh, if you'd not plowed with my heifer.
I don't even know what that means.
Like he's insulting his wife on so many levels.
Yeah, he loved women. Just
Did
a
he?
real tender place for
that's
women.
what his legacy truly is. Let's
Samson,
put
just
aside
a lover
the,
of women.
Real feminist.
Yeah.
No, total manonist.
100% a
Meninist.
meninist. No, he's like hard into man's rights.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, does that do it?
I think that does it.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this sucker up?
Wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on all the social medias at KJV Pod, specifically Twitter and Instagram. You can go there to keep track of what we're doing next. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes or whatever podcatcher you use. iTunes especially, it's good for us because those ratings and reviews float podcasts to the recommended lists, which is how we get more people. That and you telling your friends. So if you think your friend will like it, tell the friend. Thank you so much to Mascaras on Resurrection Records for the use of the theme song Kixari from their album El Moran, because we love what they do. We're trying to feature a different Resurrection Records artist at the end of each of these episodes. And this week we're using Primitive Hearts, their song High and Tight. Check out the album art. It's all about shaving heads, so we thought it was appropriate. You can find this song and every song we've ever referenced from Resurrection Records in the show notes below.
That'll do it for the King James Version. Until next week, go light a fox on fire.
Sonic Bazaar.